Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Back 10's Prediction Podcast Show. I am your host, Kyle Amor, and this week I'm joined by Matt Shaw once again and the Huddersfield Giants boss, Ken Davy. Before we get started, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss anything that goes on here at All Out Rugby League. Last week's guest, Joe Bullock, he correctly predicted Leeds Rhinos with a win over Hull KR. So let's see, Ken, how you go later on in the show. Touching upon that game, wow. Leeds Rhinos, they look like the Leeds Rhinos of old. You know, I was working the game. And I remember playing Leeds Rhinos when they had Joel Moon and Danny Maguire or Burrow, and you just couldn't switch off from a minute. Mm-hmm. The minute you switched off in the middle of the field, Matt, they'd find you. And it very much looked like that. And for me, it was a massive statement of intent for where they are this season.
That's the best I've seen Leeds Rhinos in years. Mm-hmm. I can't remember seeing Leeds as good as that for a long, long time. Probably, I was going to say during that run when they made the playoffs in 2022, but I think they were better than they were during that period. They were so good. It's hard. You can't talk it down because they made a very, very good team in Hull KR look ordinary, didn't they?
They were off. They were off.
There was a lack of intent there compared to what we're used to seeing, but I think you've got to give all the credit in the world to Leeds for how good they were. They dominated and outplayed them in every single area of the game.
Do you like what you saw with Leeds?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hull KR weren't. You could say they had an off day, but the fact is they weren't allowed to play.
Correct.
And Leeds were phenomenal. The first 70 minutes, the Hull KR didn't look as if they were going to score. And they just managed to get one.
And Ken, this was a team that's conceded on average of 9 points. And they're like, what was it, 26, 2018? I can't remember where it finished, but goodness me. Speaking of another team that went really, really well this weekend, of course, your boys, the Giants, a great win over Warrington. George Flanagan, what a talent.
Absolutely, what a talent. And he's a great guy, committed to the club. But we were... expected to be the underdogs, and we'd won at home in our previous match. The first time we'd won at home this season, because as I say, it's not been a great season. But we were predicted to be the underdogs again, and we actually were on fire. I thought we played really well. There was real commitment there, and. A great game. So we've won two at home on the trot. That's unheard of.
And bringing in one of the old boys back, Ollie Russell.
Absolutely. We were really pleased to get him because, again, we had the injury to Frawley. Again, we've just been plagued with injuries this season, and which has been a killer. But Ollie came back, and, of course, knowing the club, he was able to settle in straight away. And he made the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ken, you mentioned the injuries have just been appalling this year. I've never known a club have it as rotten as you did in the off season. But just over the last 3, 4, 5 years, it's not, well, barring 2022, since 2022, it's not gone to plan for you, has it? You won't have performed as well as you would have liked. So how do you reflect on the last 3 seasons? And then double barrel question, how confident are you with what you know about plans moving forward, that the Giants are going to climb the league?
Right. Well, you can almost pinpoint the decline. It was following the defeat in the Challenge Cup final. We lost in the last couple of minutes to Wigan, and the rest is history, as they say. And but somehow the heart was taken out of the club. Obviously. Sometime later, we had to part company with Watto, but we weren't playing an attractive form of rugby in the view of a lot of people. Neither were we performing well. And indeed, that was the period when we saw some very good young players leave the club. So something was wrong, and now we brought Luke in, and his heart and soul is in the club, and I believe he's going to do extremely well. But this season because of the injuries, I'm not going to go back on them, but because of the injuries in particular, we've done very badly. It's not something that we're going to continue with. I have made a commitment to ensure that we get the Huddersfield Giants back up to where we all believe they belong, which is not just in the top 6, but is winning trophies.
Well, there you go. Ken Davy, Huddersfield Giants, to aim to be back up there, winning trophies from 2026 and beyond. We're going to look ahead to the rest of the games. And Ken, basically, in what we do is we go through 5 of the 6 rounds. We just have a quick sort of chat on them. Give us a prediction of who you think that win's going to go to before we get on to the game of the week, which I'll explain a little bit more then. Guys, the game of the week is Hull KR v St Helens, so do let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win that game, what the score will be, and the margin of that result. So, jumping into Levy Castleford. Matt, which way do you think this one's going to go?
Don't think we need a long conversation on this one. Castleford are struggling at the minute. They're limping to the finish line, unfortunately. They have got a performance in them. They've shown that at times, but they've been pretty poor the last couple of weeks. Yeah. And Lee have a lot to fight for at the minute, so Lee win.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I love Castleford as a club. It's a very traditional club with great history, but I think they're up against Lee.
Yeah, me too. I think a clean sweep all round, Lee. A point Chris Chester said during the week, which I thought was a bit of a bizarre comment. He said, no longer are Castleford going to go shopping in Netto. So read into that.
Netto doesn't even exist anymore.
Well, there you go.
So I don't know where. I don't know how.
Read into that what you will. So, but yeah,
they've got the coach now as well, Ryan Carr, which I think is a very good appointment.
Yeah, missed that one off, didn't you?
I did. That's an excellent appointment.
No, brilliant. Warrington Salford. Now then. Yeah, look, I'll go first with this. Warrington, of course, they're going to win, but they are now. Matt, you called it. I said the gap was the door was open ajar for them if they were to go and win at Huddersfield to get into the playoffs. You slammed it firmly shut. Well, it is now being confirmed that door is shut. The Warrington Wolves will not be a part of the playoffs in 2025. For me, a Warrington win.
Yeah, I hope you did clip that up last week when I said you had to be delusional to think Warrington had made the playoffs.
Well, listen, mate, there's always a chance, isn't there? Whenever there's a chance, there's always hope, right?
There's always, hope springs eternal, but Warrington all the way.
Yeah, Warrington will definitely win this game.
A really interesting game here. Hull FC v Leeds at Hull FC. Again, Hull FC are a club that, Wakefield have got Salford coming up, so you would argue another 2 points in the bag there. So it's basically Wakefield's now to lose that 6, really. However, Hull FC can still keep the pressure going if they are to continue to win against the flamboyant Leeds side. Difficult one to call. Ken, I'll start with you. Hull FC v Leeds. Which way do you think that will
go? I think it'll be Leeds. And Hull FC, we've done the double over Hull FC this year, I'm pleased to say.
Yeah.
But Hull FC are always difficult to beat on their own ground. They've got a very vociferous crowd. But I just think Leeds are on the boil at the moment.
I was so impressed with Hull FC in defeat to Saints. The spirit and the willingness to defend their own line, the number of try savers they came up with, the desperation and will to win is clearly there. I just think without Asiata and without Price, they just don't quite have that fluency with the ball. And they're coming up against a mean Leeds defence, as we saw at the weekend. Yeah. So I just don't see them being able to score enough points to win this game. And Leeds are so good with the ball at the minute. Lockie Miller's playing fantastically well. So a Leeds win for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go Leeds win on that one as well. Wakefield, Huddersfield, Ken.
Well, it's going to be a very tough one for us. Yeah. Wakefield are flying. And they're desperate to make the playoffs. However, we are showing that on our day, we can do well. So I'm absolutely going to go for Huddersfield.
Well, look, a couple of wins in recent weeks, though, Ken. It's
we've had
Catalans
now we're getting over our injuries. And now one problem, of course, is that Ollie Russell can't play for us. Against Wakefield because that's his club, or at least that's our understanding. So that's a So that
Headache
makes
for Robinson.
makes it harder for us. But I'm absolutely not going to back Wakefield.
No, understandable, guys. Understandable. Look, I think Wakefield win. I think they've got, again, for the reasons that I said with Hull FC, they're at home. They're going for the playoffs. They need to win. I think a Wakefield win, Matt.
I'm a bit conflicted on this one. And it's not because Ken.
You can't just say that. Go on.
No, do you know what it is? Wakefield have had a few hammerings recently. You know, St Helens gave them a good hiding, and Wigan did at the weekend. Yeah. They look a little bit tired to me.
Yeah.
If Huddersfield were able to play Ollie Russell, I would be back in Huddersfield, because I think the other thing is there's an enormous amount of pressure on Wakefield to win this game. Yeah. You know, we've all been saying they've got a nice run in and so on. You've got to win.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of expectation, and they know how close they are to the six now.
Uh-huh.
I just think without that organiser, I think it's probably just a bit too much for Huddersfield. So I'm going for a narrow Wakefield win.
Yeah, and off the back of, you mentioned it there, Wigan destroying Wakefield, 40-odd points. They've got a trip to the south of France. So very quickly, look, I think Wigan now, they were a team that was deemed to be having a wobble, but a big win over Wakefield. You start going, right, it's this time of year. Bevan French back.
It's almost
Here
like Bevan French is available for selection.
So
again,
right, yeah. So I'm going to wear a Wigan win down in the south of France.
Won't disagree with that. We've said all along, haven't we? Well, there have been some concerns over Wigan, but it's always felt like once they get Bevan French back, they'll be okay. And they looked okay at the weekend.
Yeah, so. I'd agree with you guys.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So Wigan all round for that one. Right, our game of the week, Ken. Now you get 1 point for the correct team. You get, look at you laughing here. 1 point for the correct team, 3 points for the correct margin, and 5 points for the correct score. I know, right. So, guys at home, do let us know. Game of the week, Hull KR v Saints. We'd love to hear from you guys and your predictions as well. Hull KR Saints, very, very difficult one to call. Matt, I'll throw to you first. Let us know your thoughts.
Right, I'm going Hull KR. Saints do not like playing at Craven Park. They just...
They walloped the last couple of times there, haven't they?
Hull KR will respond. That's why my confidence is in Hull KR. They very rarely play poor 2 weeks running. I mean, they've only had back-to-back defeats a handful of times in the last couple of years. They are without Sawaso Su and Jared Warrior-Hargreaves. That's two big players in the middle, and Saints are playing really well in the middle. Matty Lees, Morgan Knowles particularly playing outstandingly well. But the spine of Saints is a concern, isn't it? We saw it this week. Wellsby comes back.
We said a couple of weeks ago, Matt, sorry to jump in, but we said to Sean Long, when Jack Wellsby comes back, where do you put him in? And, Longy's answer was, you have to play Jack Wellsby. But, 4 can't really go into 3, can it? And that's what they've been faced with. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out.
The problem for me is Tristan Saylor has played exceptionally well for the last month at fullback. They put him in at 6 and he wasn't as effective. Well, he wasn't effective, was he? And he is defensively poor in the line. The defending with Robertson, the man in and Saylor further out to try and protect Saylor. So that's a problem.
It's a gamble on a young kid. It's like, I know Robertson's been incredible this season, but it's a lot of responsibility for him to have to cover his half shoulder.
And I just wonder as well, this is probably a question for you, Kyle, as a player. So Tristan Saylor's played exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. Gets player of the month. And then gets hooked once Wellsby's back. Where's his mind at?
I mean, it must be a difficult place. Thankfully, I never won Player of the Month, Matt, so I wouldn't know.
You'd never be a starting halfback.
So, hooked plenty of times, yes, but no. Look, he would have been probably a bit confused and a bit. He probably will be a little bit rattled. However, I don't know Tristan Saylor, and there's plenty of players, or the best players, and the ones who are part of championship teams. They might not like it, but they understand it and they put the team first. Now, I'm not saying Tristan Saylor would have came off and gone to bed that night delighted, but the team still won and they're still on the up. Again, the thing is though, with those positions, they are so important. And they're those positions where predominantly the players who play in them think that everybody's coming to watch them play, not the team, if you know what I mean. A real difficult one, but we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. So go on then, Matt. Right. Give us your score, prediction, and margin.
I am going Hull KR to win 16 points to 8. Ken?
Right. I won't get into the players. Tristan has been playing really well. But the thing about Hull KR is the atmosphere at their ground is something else. That's worth a few extra points. And much as I admire St Helens and everything that they have and do there, I'm minded to go Hull KR. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be 6 points, and I would say that it'll be 22 to Hull KR and 16. That's not the same as you said, is it?
No, it's not quite the same. No.
And 16 to St Helens.
Well, there you go. So 22-16, Ken Davy. I'll go. Look, I got this one horribly wrong last week. I went for Hull KR to beat the Rhinos 20 points to 8. Rhinos fans, I do apologise for that, how I was punched in the face with that one. So, look, I think it'll be an incredibly tight game, this. And I'm going to go, I think Hull KR win it in a golden point.
Oh,
yeah. Right. I think Hull KR win this one in golden point.
I think there should be bonus points if you get it right. If you predict golden point.
Well, we'll be humble and not mention it again. How's that sound? If that
absolutely not. No.
So I'm going to go Hull KR win this game 19 points to 18 in golden point. So it'd be great if that happened, wouldn't it? It'd be an absolute cracker. Yeah, that's it. Another week's wrapped up there. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for all the news from All Out Rugby League. Thanks again for joining us, and do join us next week. My thanks to Matt and Ken. Goodbye for now.